It's a goddamn troll!
We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here and welcome back to Changeling. We are here, gonna meet up with Allie after figuring out that Allie is a witch and that we are technically not human. Anyway, the next morning I woke early and texted Allie that I'd meet her down by the neighborhood entrance instead of at my house. I thought a morning walk would help clear my head and get me prepared for the crazy that awaited me at school. And I was kind of worried about facing mom and being able to act normal. She always had the weirdest knack for figuring out when something was bothering me. I still needed time to get my head around all this before trying to work out how to successfully keep it from my family, especially Spencer. I couldn't deal with him while this was hanging over me. I just quickly said I wanted to take a walk before school and slipped away while mom was getting ready for work. It was noticeably colder than it had been the day before. Well, it was the middle of October after all. In a couple of weeks we'd already be into November. The leaves were all just waiting for a good fall storm to come and knock them down. I adjusted the strap of my book bag and tipped my head up, taking a long deep breath. Oops, I didn't hit the button. Long deep breath of cool air. Walking in the morning sun made yesterday afternoon seem even further away. Everything was just normal. The world looked like it always had, and yesterday was seeming more like a weird dream. It was hard to brace myself for something that I didn't even feel real yet. I shook my head slightly and kept walking. Ahead of me was a little creek and a bridge that went over it. It's so cool. I've been wanting to take some reference shots, so I didn't think I had the time. It might not hurt to at least stop and get some ideas for angles, though. Allie had to drive by there to get to the entrance anyway, so it's not like I'd miss her. I slowed my steps as I reached the start of the bridge, peering down to where the creek turned away and vanished into the trees. Pretty. Maybe it won't hurt to take 1 or 2 photos while I was there. I reached into my bag and found my phone. Come by, come by. Hello? Come by? Come by what? I paused, tipping my head to the side. Was that a voice? I stood still and listened. Sure enough, there was a faint voice muttering in a raspy singing song. Am I a fairy? Am I in nature? Am I Mother Nature? It sounded like it was coming from under the bridge. Currants and gooseberries, bright fire like barberries, figs to fill your mouth, citrons from the south, sweet to tongue and sound to eye. Come by, come by. Someone really is under there. Is it a troll? A troll under the bridge? The creepy voice, which continued to sing, conjured images from every old fairy tale I had ever read. Still, I wonder if it's a homeless person. If I listened carefully, I could hear them puttering around down there as they hummed. It was awfully cool for someone to be staying under the bridge. I bet the neighborhood association would have a heart attack too. I probably shouldn't look. I didn't really want to look. But I mean, whoever it was couldn't just stay under there. It would probably be best to let someone know so they could help them find a more reasonable shelter. I found myself carefully picking my way down the embankment, one hand on the lower edge of the bridge to steady myself. Okay, the rustling sound scared the bejesus out of me. The voice stopped the moment my feet started crunching through the dried leaves. Shoot, what if it's someone dangerous? I just now thought about that as I'm going down under here. My heart was in my throat as I carefully peeped under the bridge. I expected just a craggy old man in dirty clothes. It's a goddamn troll! I called it. Instead, I came face to face with impossibly large moss green eyes and a mouth as wide as my head, giving me a toothy smile. I froze. The eyes blinked. I blinked. Whatever it was reached toward me with a gnarled hand. I let out a shriek and staggered backwards. You're back. You came back. Cricket joints unfolded and huge feet shuffled toward me. The thing was massive, much bigger than I'd realized at first. I tried to scramble away. Come with me, I'll help. I know how to help. I threw my book back at the creature's face and tried to run up the slippery embankment. The clammy hand clamped around my wrist, pulling me back toward the creek. Excuse me! I need to go to school. I screamed again, desperately trying to pry the fingers off. Let go! Let go! Its grip tightened and chuckled with that rusty voice. Come away, come. I looked back, terrified as if it dragged me down the creek bank. Suddenly there was a heavy weight against my back and 2 soft hands covered my eyes. Don't look. You mustn't look at goblin men. Are you a female? Are you a man? Are you a troll? I don't understand. Why am I rhyming? Did I rhyme? That's what the old poems say, isn't it? The whispered voice was familiar. That girl from the club yesterday. What was her name? Brenna? Help! Come on now, let her grow. Let her go. There's a soft, menacing hiss next to my ear, and suddenly my wrist was free. I tore myself away from Brenna and nearly in tears scrambled back towards the bridge. Wait, Brenna? Brenna, you're the troll? I clawed my way up. Oh, I'm so confused. Way up the side of the embankment, bolted for the entrance, my heart still in my throat. As my feet pounded against the pavement, I heard a hoarse, raspy voice rustling after me, but this time I couldn't make out the words. By the time I reached the entrance, I was completely out of breath. I kept looking over my shoulder, expecting to see that thing clambering up the road for me, but neither it nor Brenna was anywhere in sight. Where did Brenna come from? What was that? A few moments later, I saw Allie's car crest the hill and come quickly toward me. I sagged with relief, barely waiting for her to stop completely before running in. What's wrong? I swear I could never hide anything from her. Something. There was something under the bridge. Allie glanced in the rearview mirror. Something? I shook my head, still trying to catch my breath. Just go, please. My voice was completely hoarse. I wondered if anyone heard me screaming. And what had Brenna been doing there? I suppose I shouldn't question that. She definitely saved me. Allie and I drove in silence, but she kept giving me sidelong looks. I kept checking behind us, just in case. I'm assuming I picked up my backpack after all that. Allie was nice enough to wait until I calmed down before asking about it, and that was just when we reached the school. Okay, now tell me. I don't know, I was going over the bridge and heard a voice, which I called it was a troll under the bridge. I assume it's a troll. I shouldn't have looked. I definitely should not have looked. What was it? I'm not sure. It looked vaguely person-shaped, but it had huge teeth and eyes. It tried to grab me. I put up the sleeve of my jacket and showed her this distinctly hand-shaped mark on my forearm. Well, are you okay? I nodded. Come on, let's go up to the club room. I don't want to sit here in the cold. I just nodded again and followed her as she started into the school. How'd you manage to get away from it? She was speaking quietly, but there was no one around to hear us anyway. Brenna actually showed up and helped. Brenna did? Why, She doesn't usually get involved in things unless she has to. I guess that does kind of narrow down what it might have been, though. How so? Well, normally something like that could have been just about anything. There are tons of nature spirits, elementals, ghosts that lurk about. But Brenna typically doesn't take an interest in things unless it involves the Fae. Why is that? Well, she is one. A fairy, that is. Okay, so she's the fairy. I'm just glad she was there. It was just trying to drag me into the woods. Well, for the time being, I think it would be best if you don't go checking out any more voices until you've learned a little more about this world, especially this time of year. This time of year? There's always a peak of activity in the paranormal community before Halloween and Samhain? It's best to be a little cautious this time of year. No more checking out weird voices. My girl's stupid to do that to begin with. And until you've learned a little more about what to expect and what to avoid, no more walks by yourself. I could definitely agree with that. I looked at my forearm again. It was going all moldy and purple. Ew, and it was definitely going to bruise. Come on, let's go up. How am I supposed to hide that from Mom? You can stay in the club room until you calm down and feel better, okay? What about class? Well, we're getting a little more lenience when it comes to being late. I mean, a lot of the teachers are cryptics, you know? We can get you a late pass. What? The principal too? Has that always been the case? Well, you didn't think there would be a club of paranormal magic people in the school without the staff knowing, did you? The truth is, there are a lot of places that are sort of hubs for the supernatural community. This town is like that. There are a lot of us here. So the school is definitely a bit of a haven for people like us. Walking into the club room wasn't quite as weird as yesterday. At the very least, this time, the weird shift from reality to not reality was less jarring. I went straight to the sofa and flopped down face first into a throw pillow. Is it always like this? Well, yes and no. I mean, it's always pretty wild, but you quickly learn how to handle it all, when to stick your nose in and when to stay out of things. Here. I looked up to see her holding out a bottle of water for me. I took it from her and she sat down. Here's the plan. I think you should go to the library and do some reading. The more you know about other cryptics, the more you'll be able to handle situations that come up. That's important for all of us. Knowledge is power and all that. What about you? I'm going to call the agency and have them check on that bridge occupant. The agency? Yeah, the Cryptic Management Agency. We kind of mentioned them yesterday, remember? Yesterday is a bit of a blur, to be honest. I just remember something about a registration office. It's part of the agency. Like I mentioned, there's actually a government organization dedicated to dealing with the paranormal, and they're the reason I couldn't hide in my closet and pretend none of this happened. Basically, yeah. So some government agency handles things like the bridge occupants? Well, yes and no. The Department of Paranormal Regulation is an umbrella organization for several smaller groups, but those are all federal groups. Locally, we get a management agency. A management agency? I guess you can think of them as being similar to local law enforcement. They have several departments that basically try to keep the peace where cryptics are concerned. For the most part, they protect humans and try to keep cryptics from disrupting normal society. I see. I think it sounds hard. It can be. A lot of cryptics fit in with humans, but so many of them just don't. They're too alien, too wild. Some aren't even sentient. Anyway, the local agency has a department that handles this sort of thing. Containment and control. And doesn't the club, work with them or whatever? Yep, I do too, personally. Part-time, but not everyone in the club does. Anyway, no need for you to worry about any of that. Right now, I want to show you something you're going to love. Is it a hot chocolate? She stood and led me to a door at the back of the room. I followed behind much more slowly. Is this something that's going to freak me out? Yes, but in a good way, I promise. I watched her dubiously as she rapped her 3 times? Are you rapping? Wait, what? Then pushed the door open. I peeked over her shoulder, wondering what exactly she thought I was going to love so much in what I had assumed was a closet. What? Surprised? Oh my god, it's so pretty in here. Can I never go to class? What? Yeah, I was surprised. There was a massive library of awesome hiding behind that door. Of course I am. How? This has to be some sort of space bending. Alternate dimension craziness or something. It's something like that. She took my arm and pulled me into the library. My morning had just gotten about 1,000 times more awesome. Basically, Michiko, just about anything is possible with magic. We can get to multiple places from the door in our club room, but from inside the library, that door will only lead back to the club. Is that why you knocked like that? I hope you can't hear. I hope you guys can't hear like the sound of the, I don't know, snow, hail hitting on the window. Is that why you knocked like that? Yeah, the different patterns and numbers of knocks determines where you end up. There's obviously a limit, so none of the patterns are too complex. Okay, this whole thing is weird and scary, and I'm not entirely sure I'm okay with any of it, but this part is so damn cool. Oh, is my little bookworm excited? Yes, she is. I thought you meant I should do reading at the school library or something. That's what I thought you meant. Ellie laughed as she waved to a bookish man behind a dark wood desk. He immediately left off what he was doing and came toward us. You're cute. I'm assuming you're not a potential date though. Which sucks. Michiko, this is... Ooh. Vilos? Ayo... The new... What? Language is this? Can I call you V?
Hi, V.
He's one of the caretakers of this place, and he's also a wizard. A wizard after my heart. It's nice to meet you. He really didn't look at all like a wizard, but he nodded politely. I mean, what did you imagine? Him wearing a robe and a wizard hat and a wand? And what can I do for you? Is it Vilos? I want to say Vilos. Vilos, this is Michiko. I told you about her. Ah, yes, the new member in the club, I recall. He had a fairly prominent accent of some kind. It sounded like he might be from Eastern Europe somewhere. Then again, for all I knew, this entire library was in Eastern Europe somewhere. Well, there was kind of an incident this morning. He raised an eyebrow as he looked at us over the top of his glasses. I was just about to go contact the agency. In the meantime, I thought Michiko could just stay here for a while, maybe read up on various cryptics. Since she's still kind of new to all of this, I was thinking she could start with something basic and go from there. Just something to start getting herself educated, especially considering how close we are to Samhain? Or Samahian? Yes, this is a dangerous time to just be coming into this world. Dangerous? What exactly is so dangerous? I mean, I got grabbed by a troll wooden thingy. I think that's pretty dangerous. She had said something about an increase in paranormal activity. I'll try to explain it later. In the meantime, I'm sure we can locate some useful information for you, if you'll follow me. Well, that wasn't at all foreboding and concerning. I wandered after him, still looking around at the books. What about when class starts? I told you to not worry about that today. Just stay in here and read for a while. I'm absent. Philo stepped behind his desk, shuffling around for something in a stack of papers. What sort of cryptic are you? You see here, the thing is, I don't know what I am. I don't know. Sorry, we're still kind of fuzzy on that one. I see. Then what particular species would you like to research? If you're a beginner, I would recommend one of the more common species as a starting point. Many of them have subclasses you can delve into for further reading if you like. He slid a sheet of paper across the desktop toward me. Perhaps something on this list. Is this Loki telling me who I'm actually going for? Is this what this is? Fairies, natural-born vampires, werewolves, wizards, and witches. To be honest, I don't really know what William is. Because William is the route I want to go for first. I don't think he's a vamp. For some reason, he gives me werewolf vibes. Just maybe because of the brown hair. And usually, I think wolves are brown. Brown fur. Even though most of them are probably like silver fur. I'm gonna go for werewolves just because that kind of I'm intrigued. That's pulling me for some reason. So I will listen to my heart or whatever feeling. To be honest, I didn't really know what a good starting point would be. I had an entire underground society full of paranormal creatures to study. Where did I even start with that? If I knew what I was, I would start there. But I didn't, so I just pointed at something on the list without giving it much thought. Werewolves? Very well then. He let out a loud, long whistle that startled me. At first nothing happened, and I assumed he was whistling for an assistant. But a few seconds later, I heard a soft swooshing sound coming towards us from the stacks. I looked in that direction, and to my surprise, the book simply floated out of the maze of shelves and straight to Vilos' hand. He immediately handed it over to me. I took it hesitantly, looking down at the worn-out cover curiously. Thanks, Vilos. Or thank you. Flying books. Well, he was a wizard after all, I supposed. I took the book and Allie pointed me to a table nearby. I'm going to go contact the agency. They'll probably want me to show them where the incident happened, so I'll have to step out for a bit. She tugged my elbow and pulled me over to the table, speaking quietly. I know you probably don't want me to, but I'm going to find someone coming out with you, okay? I don't want to leave you alone. I think I'll be fine alone, Allie. Well, I mean, Vilos is literally right over there. Vilos is not very sociable and forgets other people exist when he's working. I'll send someone else, okay? I don't really need a babysitter. I know, too bad. Trust me on this. You don't want to be alone right now. I guess? I'll see you in a while. Goodbye. She shot me a grin and left through the same door where we'd come in. Who's she gonna send over? Is it Brenna? I would like to talk to her, to thank her for saving me, you know? Wait, is she okay? I just kind of left her, right? I sighed and sat down. I had been so prepared to try to embrace everything. So, of course, this morning had to be horrifying and stupid. But, I mean, you were the dumb that wanted to hear the voice. I carefully opened the old book and flipped through the first few pages. I just needed to try to read and not focus too much on the current situation. Allie and her agency would get it all straightened out. I hoped. In the meantime, I looked down at the text, frowning. Like many other paranormal beings, it is believed that werewolves originate in a realm beyond the divide, a metaphysical barrier that separates the human world from other realms. However, several ancient civilizations made mentions of creatures that are believed to have been the first human werewolves. It is clear from this fact that werewolves have been in the human realm for a very long time. So I guess a lot of ancient stories and folklore really do have at least some basis in reality. That had been essentially what Danny told me during lunch yesterday too. But how twisted had the truth become over the years, and just how much of legend and folklore dealt with the actual paranormal things versus things that were made up. Surely not every aspect of myth was found in truth. I looked back down at the book. Exactly who the first natural werewolves were is unknown, but werewolf lore suggests they came to Earth explicitly to expand their numbers by infecting humans, like vampirism. Lycanthropy spreads like a virus, then introduced to a human body. Well, I can't imagine that got them a warm reception here. Werewolves are generally only bound by the lunar cycle when they are first infected. With time, they are able to learn to control their transformations beyond boundaries enforced by the phases of the moon. Though their regenerative capabilities, speed, and strength are far above that of a human, many throughout history have tried to eliminate werewolves in hopes of stopping the spread of the virus. Others have instead focused efforts on finding a cure. Jeez, that was awfully dramatic. And wasn't that just a genocide? What kind of person would think that was okay? Nothing I've read so far made it seem like lycanthropy was particularly horrible. Is it okay if I sit here? Allie asked me to come hang out with you. Moment of truth. Who is this? At the sudden voice, I yelped loud enough that the sound echoed around us. Who is this? I expected an angry shush from Pylos, but he didn't even look up from his work. Oh, it's Danny. Are you a werewolf? Did we happen to run into Danny? Loki was hoping I picked the right choice of William, but I really don't know what William is. Is he a wizard? Probably, but whatever, we're gonna stay with this. I stared up at Danny with my heart trying to leap out of my chest and greet him personally. I got the football captain here. Is he the football captain? I tried to find the strength to be mad, but he was giving me his usual puppy dog smile, and I just couldn't get angry at that. Sorry about that, you must have been really into whatever you're reading. Not really, I think I'm just a bit on edge. You know, I got attacked this morning. Well, you don't know, let me fill you in. Yeah, this place can get a little spooky. Oh, it's not the library, really. Just kind of a rough morning. I heard. Oh, okay, you did hear. Okay. Are you okay? Yeah, I mean, I wasn't hurt. Just a little freaked out. I guess it's no worse than yesterday when I saw... Ewan. Sorry, I had to think. I was like, how do you pronounce his name again? Ewan, without a head. Yeah, I heard about that too. News sure travels fast in this club. Well, we do try to keep each other informed of what's going on. I see. So I fidgeted awkwardly, trying to come up with something to say. I basically have no idea what kind of strange magical creature I am. What about you? I mentally kicked myself. Why did I have to blurt out something like that? Is it okay to ask that? I mean, it's not the supernatural equivalent asking whether you wear boxers or briefs, is it? Because if it is, you can forget I asked. Danny just chuckled quietly, but his smile faded slightly as he reached over and tapped the book in front of me. I'm reading about him. That is why he is here. You're reading about me. You could have died. I'm so sorry. You're alive, though. You're a werewolf? I think Pylos heard me. Will you be quiet? Okay, Pylos, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. It must have been louder than I intended. I tried again, quieter this time. You're a werewolf? Danny almost smiled, but it didn't quite reach his eyes before it faded again. Yeah, going on 3 years now. So he wasn't born as a werewolf. I guess he found out later that he was a werewolf. It's like, I just finished watching Avatar with Tyler, and it's just like how, like, when they turned 16, they're being told that they were the Avatar. So maybe he was he was hit puberty and like, bam, you're a werewolf now, bitch. How? So it's pretty new to him too, and I feel like I am way over time. I don't know if this means I'm on Danny's route. If it is, whatever, I don't care. We're gonna play all the guys' route anyway. But he's a werewolf. When the first day I said, is he a vampire? My stupid ass, when I zoomed in on his teeth while I was editing, I was like, that's not vampire teeth. But he's a werewolf. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know what all the other boys are. Well, obviously, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember his name. I'll put his picture here, or his name here. He's a vampire, I believe. I don't really remember everybody else because it's been a hot minute since I started recording this. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I see you guys. Bright parting. I'll see you guys in the next one.